The goal of this series is to transform the way we all think about training dogs. We're gonna make it so every single one of you knows exactly what to do. Yes, even you. Every video in this series is gonna be very streamlined, very focused on one topic at a time. Wallace is at the age where his world is expanding by the second. With that comes the need to clarify boundaries, where he can and can't go, and what we do and don't like him to do. Leave it alone. I want you to think about dog training a little bit differently than you might have before. It's not about strict obedience. It's about building a mutual language between you and your dog. One built on compassion, trust, and love. Okay, brace yourself. What I'm about to tell you right now might be a little bit different than what you've heard before. A lot of times, our instinct is to correct our dogs for doing things that we don't like. But it turns out that doing that might hold you back instead of helping. Do you know what it all starts with? Teaching your dog one magical word. And that word is yes. Yes. You can see him kind of look up there. Training like this will put a fast forward button on your progress. The word yes is going to be a signal to your dog that they have done something right. We dog trainers call this a marker word. I'm gonna take a little bit of time to teach Wallace that yes means he gets a great treat. That's all. I'm breaking off this tiny piece of treat from my bark box. See that? Just crumbs, that's all I'm using. Yes, I'm not gonna ask him to sit. If he does, that's okay. I'm not gonna ask him to do anything. I'm just gonna say the word Y-E-S. And every single time that I use that word from here on out, I'm gonna give him a tiny, good tasting treat. Yes. Ooh, did you see how he snapped up there? Yes. Right? Yes. You might notice there's a deliberate pause between the word yes and then a treat. I mean, you do want to get it to them, but it's not imperative for you to drop your drink. Once they learn it's the word yes that marks the behavior, they're usually willing to be a little patient for the treat in my experience. Yes. I love how he's glancing up at me as well. Watch this. If he looks at me naturally, I'm gonna mark it to give you a yes. Did you see that face? As he begins to make this association, from now on, I'm gonna say the word yes every time he does something right. He's looking at Veronica behind the camera right now, whether that's sitting, lying down, walking on a leash, not jumping, staying at the doorway and not bolting on me. I'm gonna consistently follow up yes with a reward, and I've always got treats in my pocket, and he's gonna learn pretty quickly that the word yes means, whoa, I did something really right, and I got something I really like. Yes. See, we just waited a few seconds. It feels like a long time, but it's just kind of fun. Yes. So he's starting to pair that really well here. Your reward doesn't always have to be a treat. Sometimes it could be a toy. Watch this. Yes. Good. Get it, get it. Oh, that's our first tug. So right here, we're seeing at least two things that he likes to do. He likes those treats. He likes this bark toy. Yes. Better watch those teeth there. You gotta be conscious of that. Especially dogs like this that are inexperienced with tug, they can accidentally chomp you. So adolescence is a time to watch for that, particularly with a Malinois German Shepherd cross. 3 seconds of tug of war, a quick toss of the ball. Your dog is the one who determines what's reinforcing or valuable to them in that particular moment. So you'll want to pay attention to things that they really like at various times and look for ways to incorporate those as rewards in your training. But to keep it simple, food, toys, play, lots of love. So what about the word no? There's nothing wrong with saying no to your dog, but my goal when I'm working with a dog is to try to keep them in the most optimal learning mindset that I can and minimize frustration when I'm trying to teach them something. I want them to feel free to try new things and be curious when we're training, because there are going to be all kinds of examples in their life where that type of brainstorming is going to work to their advantage. While we're talking about the word yes, you'll see throughout our training how we use the word good as well, which is like a partial yes. I don't necessarily reward after I say good to a dog. I try to make it clear that every few goods, I'll throw a yes in there. So our dogs learn that those goods add up to a yes, which they get paid for. Yes, sir! So what do we do as our dog's guardians when we feel like we need to say no instead. You know, like if they're jumping on the counter or barking too much. That feeling is your cue to find something else that you want your dog to do instead. For example, if your dog is jumping on your guest, you can ask your dog to sit instead. See, dogs can't jump and sit at the same time. Come. Yes. If you'll commit to being consistent with your dog in your everyday interactions with them, you're gonna be ahead of everybody. Watch, I promise, try. I'm gonna give you easy homework because all of our homework is easy. Practice saying yes every time your dog does something you like, even if it's just lying down calmly. And if you find yourself tempted to say no, think of another behavior you could have your dog do instead. For example, if your dog is barking at another dog, try calling them and saying yes and giving them a treat.
Good job, Inertia.
Just try it for a month, see how it goes. And if it works, stick with us because we're always here to show you more.
Special thanks to Bark. Every single day I use Bark products when I'm training Wallace.
Yes.
Their traditional Bark Box is amazing for the majority of dogs, while their Super Chewer line, that's for those really tough dogs. You know, just like Wallace here. It keeps you well stocked with novel toys and treats. That can be an amazing training strategy. Right now, you can get double the toys and treats from BarkBox or Super Chewer for as low as $24 a month with my special links below.
Click thumbs up, subscribe, get my book, follow us on social, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.